So, hello everyone, and welcome to the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my MAGA co-host, Gal Sandy. Hello, mate. You're right. How's it going? Yeah, I'm only winding you up, bud. I'm only winding you. How's it going this week? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm okay. You know, the usual
stuff.
shit, different day, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Yeah, busy week. Has been a very busy week, but we're working stuff. But yeah, it's gone all right. It's gone all right. It's not too bad. Hello, Viscount. Hello, Rod. Everybody in the chat. Nice to see you. You joining. We really appreciate you being on with us. Bit of news this week, then, Scouse. So the first bit we've got is the Commanders have hired Tim McGrath, which is he's now full time as the senior director of player health and performance. Overseeing all aspects of the team's athletic training, strength and conditioning, nutrition, and player wellness. Joined the team as a consultant late last season, and it helps to improve our NFLPA score. It's Tim McGrath. Yeah.
So do you mean like the country singer, Tim McGrath? You mean like him?
Yeah, it's almost like him. Yeah, McGrath. Yeah.
It's not the same, isn't it? Spelt the same?
Yeah, about the same. I think it's about the same. Yeah, cheers, Deluxe. Thanks for that. We decided we'd upgrade the start of the show. So if you haven't seen it on YouTube or you're listening to it via the pod, happy days. We should have it on there. But no, it'll be an interesting one. We enjoyed that. We got graphics designer to do that for us. Shout out to John Taman. But yeah, all good. But yeah, last time we had a look at the NFLPA report card. Obviously, that was down as things like nutrition and dietitian got a B minus, strength and training staff got an A. So this kind of goes through that wellness side for the players and make sure that he's come in as a full-time person now to try and up the game. You know, we've got to give the time, I suppose, we've got to give the time for the HOG group, the Harris ownership group, to make sure that we get this NFLPA survey done. But I honestly think until we actually move to somewhere, we're not going to be able to do anything at all, are we? We're not going to be getting A's over there, especially when you've got F minus for treatment of families. You know, that's not ideal, is it? Let's be honest. But
I mean, I think you've got to give the Harris group the flowers a little bit. You know, when they first came in, they said we're going to surround the guys with the best people, and it looks like they're doing that still. You know, just as a coaching staff, and then also now these extra guys that are coming through the door. No, don't forget, we never got really replaced Vermillion, did we? It's a Dick Vermillion. Is that his name? Was it the guy who got caught selling drugs on the side? That guy.
His name was Vermillion. I can't remember his first name, but yeah, he was the one who was raided by the DA.
But yeah, we hired him, and we didn't really replace him, did we? So obviously, this guy's obviously that replacement as such. So
yeah, exactly that.
See how it goes, man. See how it goes.
Other bit of news, I suppose, then, is that
Ryan. Sorry, mate. Deluxe said Ryan. It's Ryan Vermillion.
Vermillion, absolutely right. Yeah, Ryan Vermillion. Well done. So, yeah, looking back at this, the other bit of news then that came out yesterday is we have signed tight end Zach Ertz, who is currently 33. He'll be 34 in November. He was a second rounder. He was 35th overall pick in the 2013 draft to the Eagles. Obviously, if you've never heard of Zach Ertz, what rock have you been hiding under? He's killed us for many a year when he was on the Eagles. But yeah, he was on the Eagles from 2013 through to 2021. Then he left the Eagles and joined Cliff Kingsbury over at the Arizona Cardinals from 2021 through to 2023. So familiar face for Cliff Kingsbury. Last season, on January the 22nd, Ertz signed for the Lions practice squad as cover after injuries to Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. But he never played. He wasn't activated, and he was only there for the playoff run. He only spent 10 days with the Lions. So he's an instant signing, obviously, because he's not been on an active team and he's not on a team, so we don't have to wait for the season to open. Signed a 1 year, a very incentivized deal worth up to $5 million. Obviously, when Ertz was healthy in his last stop, really, at Arizona, in the Kingsbury offense, he was productive, 21 games, 103 catches, 80 yards, 7 TDs, but staying healthy has obviously been the biggest part for him. I mean, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, and he actually holds a record as well with the NFL for the most catches caught in a season for a tight end at 103. What did you think of the signing, Scouse?
I mean, I like it, but then there's also, we look at our title of our show today, it's the worst, second the best, kind of thing. And
Hartley's the one with a hairy chest, yeah.
Yeah, hairy chest, yeah. And the thing is that, yes, does he move the needle? Not massively, but he's better than what we've got. So, I'm not crying over the 5 million or up to 5 million deal or whatever it is, because this guy, okay, he's 33, and last year he played 7 games due to injury. So I understand, but at the end of the day, he's getting half. He's getting like half as what his contract would have been at Arizona. I think he was on 10 mil per year on average with a 3-year deal he signed there.
Yeah,
but yeah. But for me, it's more about kind of he'd be definitely a Cliff Kingsbury hire, as you mentioned. He was with him before, and he will help our offense a lot, because not just about the play, but more about the teaching of the actual and the install of Kingsbury's offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm hoping that he becomes the mentor for the younger group. I mean, the tight end room, if we look at the tight end room as a whole, I mean, we've got Bates, Cole Turner, Armani Rogers, and then that is pretty much it. I don't know what's happening with Hodges, whether he's still around or not, whether he was released. Honestly, couldn't tell you, but it's a young tight end room, and having a veteran in there who knows the offense, knows the install, it's going to be pretty good for us. You know what I mean? I can't. I don't think it's a bad signing. Obviously, age and concerns over injury is. You're absolutely right, mate. What do you do? He's older than Logan Thomas, but he's costing you less, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, he's cheaper than Logan Thomas, and to be fair, he's probably going to be just as productive as him, if not better, as long as he's healthy. But he shouldn't be tight end 1, but obviously at the moment he will be, because we don't really have anybody. You mentioned those guys; they're all unproven, all injury prone as well. So even Zach Ertz fits into all of injury prone, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not upset about the hire, but then I'm not like really, really happy with it either. So I'm just kind of mid. Which I think is
totally agree with Viscount here. As long as he's not here to help the youngsters not be tight end 1, that's kind of where we are with him. I agree with you there. I mean, lots and lots of questions this week on Zach Ertz. Obviously, I fully expected that was going to be the case. Commander Viscount here himself, if you want to go and follow him on X or Twitter, whichever you want to call it, he's at John Bowden Grace. He said, I'm sure looking at the signing of Ertz probably signifies a lot of under the radar free agents. Do you guys think we make any high profile signings? And if so, who? We'll get into that a bit later, mate, I think, because I've got some names written down here. I'm sure you've done your due diligence on it as well. But I think the vast majority of our questions were around Zach Ertz. So, I mean, we can get through them now, mate. Might as well while we're here. These people have reached out to us, so we'll give them their due and we'll give them a good shout out. Christian Burt, your big mate and my big mate from UK HTTC blogs. If you're a UK listener or a listener abroad, go and Google search UK HTTC blogs. You'll see Christian in there. He's also on the show with you, Red Zone in the Lab UK, which is a Sunday normally through the seasons, just before kickoff time. So about, is it 11 o'clock you guys go on a Sunday?
Yeah, but that's probably going to be more closer to the start of the season. I think.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, we haven't done one since the season ended, really. So
fair one. I mean, obviously, he said one. Perhaps Ertz is the first free agent of the new era. How do you guys feel about the pickup? So yeah, I mean, as we just said, Christian, I'm quite happy with the pickup. I think it is what it is. It's an aging tight end who knows the offense and knows the install. It's going to work. He's not going to come in flat-footed and take time to get up to speed. He's a guy who's been a former Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? 3-time Pro Bowler. So
he was a good player. He's a good player. I mean, he's better than what we've got. So I'm not. No, I'm not upset with the hire, but again, it's just a mid hire for me. It's not a. He shouldn't be the guy for overall starter come start of the season, unless we don't really draft a tight end, which I think Rod's mentioned there.
Yeah, he's right. He's basically said on here.
We still need a tight end.
Still need a tight end. Yeah, we do still need a tight end. Absolutely right. I agree with that.
It probably wouldn't have to be like first, second, third round. He could probably go a 4th, 5th rounder. Cade Stover's the good one in the 4th. I think if he's going to be there, I think he might be a nice little pickup for us. He'd probably be the guy I'd be going for, maybe looking in the 4th round onwards, really, for a tight end. I don't think we should be pushing forwards and trying to get like Tre'Davious Sanders or the
Sanders,
or the other guy, Brock Bowers. Obviously, they're going to be like second rounders, or maybe even Bowers might even be a first. So I don't want us to punch that high up to try and get one. So for me, now we've got Ertz in, we don't need to go for that Brock Bowers type guy. So.
Yeah, I agree with Scott here. Scott G's put in the chat. He says, Ertz, let's not overthink what this signing is. It's a vet with experience in Kingsbury offense.
Exactly what he is.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. No problem at all. Christian, he's joined us. So hi, shout out, Christian. Just read your question out before, mate. He's put on, guessing that ends any Schultz or Hunter Henry talk. Now, I saw that the Texans have given Schultz a deal, quite a big deal as well.
Yeah. He's only locked in 3-year deal, 36 mil. Yeah. So I would have paid that.
It'd be over 10 million. You said it'd be over 10 million, Scouse, and you were bang on.
Yeah, I mean, I like Schultz. So he was probably the best free agent tight end that was going to be a free agent. Obviously, the Texans sorted that out before he hit free agency. But he was my favorite tight end available or possibly available. Shame that he stay where he's at, but I understand why. He's got a great quarterback there and a good offense, so why not stay?
Yeah, David Glasgow Skins on X. He's obviously said, with Zach Ertz coming in, does it change how high you'd be looking in the draft for tight end? Is it still a position of need? Rod, also in our chat right now. Rod Moore 39721910. He said Ertz is a good value signing at 1 year, certainly cheaper than Logan. Is this a sign of the sort of deals that we're going to see during free agency? And again, Commander Viscount also put in saying, how effective do you see the Ertz free agent signing? Is he going to be there for production, or is he going to be there to mentor the younger guys? And do you think this confirms we will need a tight end one? Yeah, absolutely. All of you are absolutely spot on.
I think we do. I think someone's mentioned there on the Viscount mentions their 3rd or 4th rounder. Exactly what I'm thinking as well, mate. I'm thinking 4th rounder for the tight end personally.
Totally agree.
I think if Cade Stover's there, I'd be quite happy with that. You can give the guy a chance to actually acclimatize to the NFL with Ertz possibly starting at the beginning of the season until he goes down injured, because he will at some point. But then he's there for more mentorship and to install the Kingsbury offense. That's all. He's mostly there for that, more than true production. So man,
I really want to see what Cole Turner's got. I'm sick of seeing Cole Turner being the darling of training camp and then just not being able to produce on the field. I mean, for him to be an absolute healthy scratch the last game of the season was just like, wow. Have you dropped off this badly that you can't get a game when we were dressing 3rd and 4th stringers? It's difficult. I get it. I totally understand. I mean, we've seen Cole Turner live. We've been up close and personal with him and John Bates. We've stood next to them. They're big dudes, man. But I just can't understand why they're not producing what they are. Is it purely down to coaching, Scouse, or is it something else?
I think there's a multi-element to this one, because when you're looking at Bates, we know he's a blocking tight end, not really a receiver. And then the flip side with the other chap you mentioned, Turner. So it's the flip side. He's a receiver. So the problem is, it's so important. It's so important to get a dual threat tight end who can do both, because then you're not showing your hand to the defense. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, if I've got this team right now and I'm bringing Cole Turner into tight end, I know it's going to be a passing play because he can't block for shit. So I know it's going to be a passing play. So I'm already telling the defense what it's going to be. So it doesn't help, man. It doesn't help. And they say the ones who are truly elite are the ones who can do both. You can block and can receive. Yeah. I mean, Kelce's more of an exception to the rule, but that's only because Mahomes is just that good. But everybody else, the tight ends are dual threats. They can block and they can receive. So
I'm really hoping against hope here that Adam Peters finds another gem like he did with George Kittle late on in the draft. I mean, if he's that guy who's out there, then cool. You know what I mean? If there's someone of that ilk, very, very difficult to find. I get that. But if we can get Adam Peters doing his scouting network, we'll go from there. Scott G, you're absolutely spot on. He said, let's get to next week.
It's just because you've got so many questions on him, mate. That's all. It's the only reason why we're going through it.
I know. He's just saying it'll be laughable this amount of time we spent dissecting the Ertz signing. Yeah, most likely. I mean, I just sat here thinking about it before, and this is how sad I am. I was talking to my son probably half an hour or so ago, and we were chatting about the roster because he does take a bit of an interest. And he said, "Oh, haven't you got to get to 90 man?" I was like thinking to myself, "Oh shit, yeah, we have." Then when I worked it out, we got 28 signs. Add your practice squad on top of that of 10. You're looking at 38. Add on the 9 picks that you're going to get. We are still miles away. Once you probably sign another couple, maybe re-sign a couple of the people we've got as free agents as well, I think you're realistically looking at a free agency for at least 13 players, maybe 12 at a push. This is
and some guys are going to be like the Zach Ertz signing, these cheaper guys, 1-year deals, stuff like that, prove-it deals. You're going to see a lot of that, I think.
And the problem you've got as well, I mean, Deluxe is right there saying probably more tape on Rodgers from previous years. Bates is a blocker. Ertz gives the team the floor. Rodgers and Turner's are unknowns. You're right. You're absolutely right, mate. But it's difficult to judge that room because we haven't had decent coaching in that room either for a long time.
And they've all been injured.
It's going to be very tough.
Face it.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Rodgers went down with some fake neck injury and he was out for the whole season. That's one. Just so we didn't have to cut him because he wasn't ready. Okay, so that's that one. Then you've got Amani Rodgers. I mean, he looked the best guy out of all of them, and then he tore his Achilles. Now, the thing is, with an Achilles, man, that's doing a nightmare to come back from, especially if you're a speedster, which he is pretty quick for a tight end. So, I don't know how good he's going to be coming back this year. He could be god-awful. And then, who have you got then? Bates. Brilliant.
Bates and Cole Turner, yeah. I mean, but let's be honest, Bates, in his rookie season, he was the best blocking tight end in the NFL. That is undisputable.
Yeah, but he's a blocker, a pure blocker.
He's a blocker. Exactly that.
And the Kingsbury offense doesn't normally have a lot of tight ends who block because Ertz doesn't really block too much. He does a little bit, but not loads. And again, so again, he's going to be fighting through it's more of a receiving type of tight end. But for me, if you've got a dual threat guy, or a guy who can do both at a high level, then you can disguise what you're going to do with your packages and everything else. It makes it so much easier for the rest of your offense, even if you don't even use the tight end at that point. You know what I mean? That's why we need one. We need one of them guys.
We do. So the next bit of news then really that's left is free agency obviously starts next week. The legal tampering period starts on Monday the 11th. Free agency opens itself on Wednesday the 13th of March. Question to you, Scouse, is who do we see coming in? We've got some questions on this, so we'll read them out. So Commander Viscount, who's in the chat with us at the moment, he said, I'm sure AP is going to be busy over the weekend. What positions do you think he will attack first? What's your best guess? And that's both of us as to who it's going to be. We'll try and answer all of these at once if we can. Also, Scott G has said, with the salary cap casualties, it's the most intriguing. Plus, with multiple safeties on the cut, who do you most likely see to replace Cam, assuming he's gone? Now, I've got a list of my top 5 targets in free agency. Whether you think they're right or wrong, or we'll debate it till the hills. I don't know if you have off the top of your head a top 5, or you have some that you really are looking at and thinking, yeah, I'd really like to get this guy in. Let's go through them, Scouts, if you've got them. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want you to go first? I don't mind.
I mean, I've done a list of 5, but you can always.
Oh, I've got 5
here, a little bit. So. But yeah, I mean, my favorite's Justin Simmons. I mean, if we can somehow get that guy in, all pro free safety, and
wow,
people say a Defoe's a free safety. He's not a free safety. He's right. He's reasonably quick, but he is another guy who's a thumper who likes to be in the box more than be at free. So. If you're not going to re-sign Curl, which I obviously want, but if you're not going to do that, then get me a Justin Simmons on free safety. Then you've got Quan Martin and you've got Defoe who can play in that as strong safeties. So for me, I'd be happy with that. I mean, that guy is wealth of experience, well respected around the league. One of the best free safety, probably the best free safety in the NFL, and then he cut him because of cap casualty issues. He's 30. Okay, so he's getting on in age a little bit, but he's still at an all-pro level, man. I think he was second all-pro this year and a Pro Bowler. I had a team that was bang average, let's face it. No, they weren't that good. I mean, they got better defensively later on in the season, but, horrible. I mean, they give up 60-odd points to the first third game of the season or something stupid like that. So shows down how much he can actually improve and how good he actually is. They got better throughout the season.
Yeah, I think Rod's put on here that O-line and D-line must be priorities. I mean, that is pretty much kind of where I've gone in free agency. So my first signing,
top safety.
My first signing would be Trent Brown, who's a right tackle at the Pats. 3-year, 21 mil. His yearly market value is 7 million. So it's actually quite a low end signing. Decent enough. He was the third. He was the third highest graded through PFF, and PFF doesn't mean everything. I get that, but he was the third highest graded right tackle on the docket for the season. Next one would be Kevin Dotson, who's a left guard out of the Rams. Used to play for the Steelers as well. He's going to command quite a bit of money. You're looking at about 15 mil a year for that. Next one would be Next one would be Lloyd Cushenberry.
Nope.
He was the third best center in the league, last year. We need to have, especially if we're going to go QB hit 2, we need an experienced center.
Now, my theory with Cushenberry is that he's massive, isn't he? He's about 6'6" and he's 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big.
He's massive for a center, right? Now, that means you're going to have a tall quarterback. So,
understood.
If you're getting Cushenberry, then you're going to be getting May in the draft.
I think that's where they go. I think they do go Drake May.
So that would show us our hand, really. I can't see us having such a big quarterback. Such a big center, and having a guy running out. You know what I mean? Like Russell Wilson. That's why he doesn't fit their scheme. Those type things. So, I can't see Matt doing that here. So for me, it's like
the other one.
You've got to go get May in the draft.
The other one is Jonah Williams. I mean, I would give him a shot. I know what people said. Jesse said this to me as well. Oh, why did they move him to right tackle if he wasn't at left tackle and he failed at left tackle? I understand that. It just doesn't work for some people at some teams. This dude was picked in the first round to be a left tackle, played his entire college career as a left tackle, and he's going to get 10 million a year. It's not a huge amount of money for a left tackle where we are screaming for offensive linemen. We are absolutely screaming for offensive linemen.
It's definitely a weakness. I mean, left tackle, we've got no one there at all. I mean, we've got...
Correct.
We've got Braden Daniels. Yeah.
Braden Daniels, that is it. Who is projected as a guard anyway.
Yeah, because he's not big enough. His arms aren't big enough and his footwork isn't good enough. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty slim pickings what we've got at left tackle at the moment.
And the thing is, as well, mate, is in free agency wise, there's nothing really out there at left tackle. Mitch Morse, Rod, is that the guy from Buffalo Bills? I'm not sure if that is the guy from Buffalo Bills. Yeah, he knows obviously the offensive line coach Bobby Johnson. So there's
31 years old, a lot of mileage
continuity there. So maybe, and it wouldn't cost you a lot of money. The other guys I'd like to bring in and look at is these two are probably two of my absolute favorites that I think you kind of got to sign them. One is Jonathan Grenard from Houston, who's an edge rusher. He will test free agency, no worries at all. You're looking at 12 million a year for him. So obviously I'd look to 36 mil, 3-year deal. No issues at all with that. Again, 10.5 sacks last year. Had a breakout year for them. The year before he was around 7 sacks. So him on one end of the edge, on one end of the line is fantastic. I think he'd give really, really good production, very bendy as well, and quite a big guy. And the other one, which I've talked about for many, many, many weeks with you, is Bryce Huff. Situational edge rush passer at New York Jets.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? He's situational. Well, we need starters. We need starters.
He has. What I mean is, he has been situational there because he's played a lot of linebacker as well. Now, what you have to think about is who's filling that void. Is it going to be Jamin Davis who's going to fill the void and pass rush from the linebacker slot, or are we going to get someone who can do that Micah Parsons role, similar to what Dan Quinn had in Dallas? I mean, Bryce Huff fills that. And again, not a massive signing. It's going to cost you about $8 million a year. It's in the grand scheme of things. If you said to me, like, okay, who would you want at edge rusher? Of course, I'm going to say Brian Burns. Of course, I'm going to say Josh Allen. Both being franchise tag. Can't get them. So then you're looking at what's the next wave. You got the best two out there for me. We're not in the market for a Daniil Hunter who's going to cost you an absolute fortune. You're not going to spend $20 million a year on an edge rusher like him. Who's it? Yeah, well, yeah. And I mean, he's going to want to go somewhere to win a ring. So these guys are the guys you're going to have to pick through. Bryce Huff, 8 sacks last year. Jonathan Grenard, 10.5 sacks last year. Then you've got to think what we've got on the inside already is going to provide more sacks. So I think they're good starting edge rushers with low miles on the clock.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many games does Greenyard play? I know he played, or Grenard, what you want to call him. I know last year he obviously had a good season, but what about his other season?
16 last year. He played the full season the year before.
He played full season before as well, so 2 seasons of full season. So again, that's
full tilt, yeah.
So
he was a third round pick for them. So yeah, I mean, Frankie Louvu's the other one I'd look at. Not a massive linebacker, not a massive signing, but he's going to play linebacker. Obviously, he's a middle linebacker. Again, I'm not trying to bargain shop, but you have to think of the salary cap and think to yourself, we can't go out there and have these elite signings. I think people have put in their questions to say to us.
I think we need at least one big name signing. I really do.
Yeah.
Statement of intent from the new ownership, new head coach. Look, man, forget the quarterback would be great and all that in the draft. I get that, but no, let's do something in free agency. Now, yeah, I'm going to blow your wad, but what I'm talking about is actually someone who's got a big name. Hasn't got to be the elite of the elite, but maybe just underneath, but a really big name still. Who's still in the prime of his career, not on the back end where he's kind of going retirement soon. And then, again, a big statement of intent. Others will follow. Better players will follow. Some guys are mentioning in the chat there that the top guys want to go to contenders. But the thing is, if you can get one of these big guys coming in, a big name who's in his prime, you might go, well, actually, these guys are trying to win already, even though we think and realistically we're not going to. But some of these guys might go, well, actually, I'll jump on that bandwagon, just like all the coaches did for Dan Quinn. If you can get some big superstar name in that who's still going to work his ass and do the business, then, along with the coaches here and the way everything's the trajectory of us is going all the way up, why can't we? Why can't we get ourselves another couple of top quality players?
Yeah, I mean, Rod's put in the chat here. Obviously, he's put in saying he would like Onwenu from the Pats at guard. Don't disagree with you, but he's played right guard for the last 2 years. He played left guard. No, he was a tackle at one point. He's a right tackle. He started out there. They pushed him inside halfway through. Not last season before. Didn't work. It didn't work. He went left guard. He stunk at left guard. Terrible. And then last year he played all season at right guard, which again it worked. And he was very good. But we've got a right guard in Cosme. I'm wearing.
Yeah, we do need a right guard. I mean, yeah, that's the only position we don't need on the offensive line. Is that
exactly? So I don't disagree with you, Rod. But it's an experiment then, saying, you know what? Are we going to push a right guard or someone who's played right guard, didn't do too well at left guard, back into the left guard slot? No, not for me. That's why.
Yeah, there's a good question for the looks in here. He mentions piggybacking off the height talk when I mentioned before about the height, the taller quarterback. Is a team able to build an O-line easier with a taller QB? Because you haven't got to limit the talent pool by staying from the taller guys. Now, I agree. That is definitely something. You've got to take that into consideration. Sam Howell's a shorter guy, and he struggled to look over Larson, who was 6'3". So anyone who's bigger than that, you're going to be struggling. So, not many QBs can do it like Drew Brees did. Do you know what I mean? So, everyone's always the exception. Oh, Drew Brees did it, yeah, but he was elite. Do you know what I mean? And half these guys at his height are not elite, probably even more than that, actually. So, yeah, if you're going to have to you're going for tall offensive linemen, you're going to have to go for a tall quarterback. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Otherwise, you're just handicapping your own quarterback. Because you're limiting the vision, aren't you? You've got a big meaty fellow in your face who's your own guy. What the hell are you going to... where you going there? You can't see shit, so you got to run out, you got to roll out, you got to do all these all these things that Murray does, and all these little like running quarterbacks. I don't want a QB like that. I want a QB who can stay in the pocket and deliver the ball, and can run when need to. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Lamar Jackson style who just runs all the time. I don't like that, because my QB can get hurt very easily. They're not built to take massive hits from 300-pound guys every game in, game out. They're just not built for it.
So Christian has put in the chat here, said rookie QBs need a center, a tight end, a left tackle, and a running back. At best, we sort of have one in B-Rob. And if even that, I think he's saying there. You're right. I mean, we've had this discussion before. How many elite players would you say are on this squad? 4?
Yeah, we didn't even mention that. Did we? About 4 maximum? So,
I mean, Cosme's, yes, I would say he is an elite right guard.
I have to resign him soon as well.
Yeah. B-Rob's got potential to be, an absolute stud running back. Everyone overhyped Terry, and I don't disagree with that. I love Terry. I'm not trying to dig on Terry at all, but is he really a top 10 wide receiver in this league? Probably not. He's a top 15 wide receiver.
I think the reason why I rate him highly, and I rate him as a top 10 receiver, not because of production, because of the production he's had with the absolute shite that he's had for 5 years that he's been here. Not many receivers can do what he did with the shite that he's had to put up with. I'm not being funny.
Totally get you.
Look at Davante Adams. I mean, an excellent wide receiver. He moved over. What did he do?
Nothing.
Not much. He did okay, 1,000 yards and all that. That's what Terry did with shit quarterback play. The same with what Davante Adams did. So, does that mean Terry's as good as Adams? I wouldn't say that, but in general,
even in Jesse,
these are the things. These are the things. These things you got to think about. Is that how good is he really? And if he had a quality quarterback with a decent actual protection, you can throw a deep ball. I think you'll see a big increase in Terry's production, man.
I agree. I mean, we're getting here down the line here, but one of our questions was from Hog on the Mountain. If you want to go and follow him on X, it's Hog on the Mount. He said, everyone is screaming take QB at 2, but having lost 5 of 9 linemen, Cosme is the only starter left. Are we really ready for that quarterback, especially considering the huge haul of draft picks we could get in a trade? I mean, but the thing is, we're going to talk about it, but
you're assuming that all these draft picks that you're going to trade down for, that you're going to hit on every single one.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Deep down, you're not. Realistically, the law of averages say you're probably going to get maybe 2, maybe 3 guys out of a draft, and you've done well. Who are actually quality players that you formed into that. So for me, you've got to get the quarterback when you can. I mean, I like Howell, I really do. I think Sam Howell can still be a solid guy in the NFL, but he's not going to get the shot here. He's just not going to get the shot here. So when you're at number 2, you're not really going to be. Or you're not expecting to be at number 2 ever again, especially if your team is looking on the up, who wants to challenge. So you're never going to next year or the year after, you're never going to find that quarterback, because those top elite guys are going to go in the first 3 to 4 picks every single year. It just happens that way every time. And yeah, okay, there's the odd exception of sure, there's a guy in the second round who might come out and ball out, but most of the time, they're going to be the first round guys, the top 5 picks, and you need to be in there. You need to be in that discussion to get that elite rookie quarterback type of thing. So for me, while we're here now, we just got to get it and just take the lumps, because our offensive line is just not going to be good enough unless you say you make a big splashes in free agency to actually show up like all 3 positions. Then okay, we might be okay straight away. But deep down, this offensive line's going to stink next season as well. So, but I'd still go for the quarterback now while we got the chance.
It doesn't have to stink the offensive line. We can do that through the draft and free agency if they hit, as you said, and that's the difference. You don't know if these players are going to hit and work out. But do I want to take a quarterback at 2? Yeah, I do. I agree with you completely. I think when you're in this position, you can't really look to trade back or to take it any further than you have to.
This isn't the draft of when only one quarterback went in the first round. What was it, 2-3 years ago? I think it was Howell's draft, wasn't it? His year?
Yeah.
No, it was his year, wasn't it? The guy from Pittsburgh.
Oh, Kenny Pickett, yeah.
He's the only guy who went in the first round. this isn't one of those drafts. You've got 4, 5, 6 quality quarterbacks in this draft. Yep. So people, so I can understand the reason why people say, well, why don't you trade down and maybe get a Penix or get
Bonix,
McCarthy or
JJ
Bonix.
McCarthy.
These guys are serviceable, blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, but that shows how good these other guys are. Does that make sense? If everyone's saying, why don't you go get these guys and they have extra picks? These other 3 guys are different level, and probably Williams is even better than both the other 2. So, if you can get Caleb, I'd be very, very happy with that one. I mean, I'm hoping that he would actually kind of go down.
I think you've got to be
2. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll still have to see how that one goes.
I think you've got to be careful here with how overestimated we're thinking these QBs are at the same time. We don't know what they're going to produce. How often do you hit on a quarterback? You know what I mean? But the thing is, we have to do this at 2 because we're not going to be in this position, as you said, to hopefully pick in this position again. We're hoping not. But it happens. It has happened to other sides. I mean, take the Jags, for example. Trevor Lawrence 1 year. Who did they take the next one? Trayvon Walker. They're back at the number 1 overall pick. That was down to Urban Meyer, so nothing more there. Houston tried to do it the other way around and trade back in, and they did that. But you're right on the tiers of these QBs. I mean, Williams tier on his own, absolutely. Next tier down, it's Daniels and May, and either or for me. I'm on the Drake May train still. Not too keen on Jaden Daniels, and the only reason is the reason that we've both said is because of the injuries and the way that he's not injured. That's the thing. But is he going to get injured?
You just think he's got a risk of being injured a lot because of his running style. That's one, because he's quite upright when he runs, and he will get nailed. And these guys it won't be like the college guys hitting them. These guys are different level guys. When they hit you hard and, injured very easily, especially in his frame. That's what worries me more about him, because he's a good player. No, I mean, he's not that about it. He's a good player. But
68 quarterbacks last year we used, Scouts. 68 different QBs.
Yeah, because they're all getting knocked out the games because the defense are getting bigger, faster, stronger every single year. You need a guy who can take the hits. I mean, that's one thing about Howe. He has got balls of fucking stones. You know what I mean? Like he will take the hits, and he played every game. So that's what you want. You need durability. And okay, if you're going off Jaden Daniels, he hasn't been injured. He's played 55 games in college. He hasn't been injured. He hasn't missed a game. So you think, well, that's brilliant. But you're just thinking that one hit in the NFL could just end it all. Do you know what I mean? Like an RG3 type problem.
Oh, don't put that evil on me, mate. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's the problem, man. And where I think Drake May's built more for it. He's still quite slim, but he's put a bit more muscle on him. And his frame at 6'4", he can take the beats a hell of a lot more. And he can run. He's not as good as Daniels, but he can still run. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm probably going to stick with the Drake May thing unless we can get Caleb. Caleb's a bit different. Again, he's a shorter quarterback, but again, he's just got ridiculous arm talent, and that's the reason why everyone's going to pick him over anybody else.
I agree with you. It is that point where we're at 2. We've got to do something there. Viscount earlier in the chat put in that he thinks next 2 picks after that, 36 and 40, is O-line. Do not disagree with you. I think absolutely we've got to do whatever we can. I wouldn't even be surprised if we use one of them, like maybe pick 40 to move back into the first, and package something up to get to the back end.
I think for me, the first three picks got to be quarterback and O-line the next 2. It really does. Then you can start looking at other positions. You know what I mean? Tight end in the 4th and maybe a linebacker in the 3rd, something like that. Yeah, I mean that's fine. But
that's where I'm going with it.
But you got to, man. This is just how it's got to be. I mean,
I'll put a scenario to you then, Scal. So I'll do one here, a bit of a tangible one, right? So, few free agents out there from the Commanders. Who are you re-signing? So we've got Jacoby Brissett. 1 year.
He's already gone, hasn't he?
Has he gone? I heard he'd gone to the Pats, but that hasn't been confirmed yet whether he has or he hasn't.
Yeah, but next one, he's not coming back here, so he's not coming back.
Next one, Cam Curl for don't know what that'll be. Cornelius Lucas and Curtis Samuel. What are you thinking out of all of them 4? I'd like to see them all 4 back, to be fair, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, you're right. Brissett's probably gone to the Pats, which is what we've kind of heard on the wire. Cam Curl, we have to talk about it. We have to talk a little bit about Cam Curl. Put the deuces up, obviously, on Twitter. His dad was very annoyed that he didn't get a happy birthday off the Commanders. It's a bit shit when you're getting people like Whiteside and the no marks getting a happy birthday, but Cam Curl didn't get one. Social media team, please sort yourself out. You know what I mean? But
I just think you kind of, the writing looks like it's on the wall. It does. I mean, I say I'm a big Cam Curl fan. I think I want him to be here, but I can just see the way it's panning out. They haven't obviously got anywhere in in contract talks. Now again, he has been a bit shafted because of the new ownership situation and all the rest of it, and now the new coaches and they're obviously putting everything on the back burner, which obviously leaves Cam in limbo. So I understand why he'd be pissed off from that angle as well. And then obviously it's just the little things like that, or happy birthday thing, or it's just little things like, do you actually want me to stick around, or do you know? And it's just little things like that makes you think you don't really want to keep me. So I can definitely see him going.
I mean, the people that's putting in the chat here, FAO Barder should sign another year, and Cam
leg injury is bad, man. I mean,
I know, mate. And then he's got FAO should retire. Then Rod's put FAO Barder question mark. He is my boy. I love FA. I mean, honestly, he's such a good dude. His story's amazing. British, obviously. We've got to think, come on. I wanted us to sign him for a couple of years, even when he was at the Bills floating around. And then we finally signed him, and I thought, my God, you're going to do all right. But that injury was awful.
It's a bad one. Ron Payne did it to him as well, which is even worse. Some goddamn player.
And he was playing well. He was playing well at the time as well. And I think he could come in and do a situational pass rusher move, part of that rotation. I think he'd be okay for us at the end. But yeah, don't hate on my boy Scott. Come on, man. He is my guy. And it wouldn't cost you a lot.
Oh yeah, last year he was $3 million. That was his contract last year.
Million,
so
exactly.
It might even be the vet min this year, come off that bad injury.
It could be.
Could be. It might be just to be available. And happy to be a part of a team.
Scott's put in the chat here, because you can't say that when you don't run HR, you don't know what free agency will bring. Don't paint yourself into a corner. Yeah, you're probably right. We don't know what free agency is going to bring. I mean, for all we know, we could be on here next week and we'll sign Kirk Cousins. Or Justin Fields has decided to be traded here.
Or corner. I think we're just saying what the landscape's like right now. And obviously things will change, and it will. Let's say tomorrow there'll be more cuts. And you might go, but I really want that guy instead. I mean, look at Leno. Leno was a guy we got 3-4 years ago off a cut like this. Around this time, it wasn't at the end of the season. It was before the league season started because of cap issues and stuff. So, there's going to be guys that we're going to go after that aren't available right today. So it'll be, let's say it's all just taking a snapshot, aren't we? That's what we're doing every week, isn't it, really?
Of course it is. I mean, Jesse here, look at that one. He's put in Justin Simmons, as you talked about earlier, Scouse.
Yeah, give me
$8 million, he's saying, for 1 year. I mean, that would be a great signing. That would be a statement of intent.
I can't see him come up 1 year, though, unless he gets no offers. I can't see that.
But I can't see him not getting an offer either. That's the other thing.
He's going to get offers, isn't he? He's top level player. So, and probably big-ish contracts, 14-15 mil a year, probably. He's going to be asking about that level for an all-pro.
Okay, so we're on free agency in a minute. We don't know what's bringing, but you put your GM hat on. We're all couch GMs, but you put your GM hat on, Scouts, and you tell me of anybody on the free agent market out there right now that you could sign. Who are you taking and why?
Any position, just whoever want, mate.
Yeah, whoever you want that you can. I'm not saying Pat Mahomes. Obviously, he's not a free agent, but anyone who is a free agent right now. Who are you going to take as your? This is my statement of intent signing. I mean, it's a very tough one, isn't it? That I'm sorry I put that on you. Don't put that on me.
I mean, to be fair, I think my guy's gonna be. You know what? I'm going to go Patrick Queen. That's what I'm going to go with.
That would be what a signing that would be.
17-18 mil per year. I think his average is going to be something like that. A spot track and things. I think having him alongside Davis, and then obviously having a real coach in Ken Norton Jr. and these guys, honest to God, man, I think he'd be elite for us. I really do. And it's a big name. People know of him. He's from a high-quality defense last season. I think that could be the statement of intent signing.
Yeah, I agree. Casey Jackson, I want to say, maybe. What about Jamal Adams?
Getting on a bit, aren't they? And he's a safety.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I mean, that's what Jamal Adams is.
It's not going to be Ryan Tannehill, is it? I mean, Devin White he's getting on, and do you know what I mean? So
Devin White's quite young, actually. I like Devin White, the linebacker. Is that you?
The linebacker, Devin White, yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's about 27. I mean, I'd be interested in that. Yeah, I'd be happy with him as well, but not as a statement.
Yeah, I mean,
signing, but as a signing for sure.
His pass rushing ability is good as well. 23 sacks in 91 pressures in 76 games. I mean, if you look at what he's got, he had the best numbers in pass coverage last season across all linebackers: 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 65.5% passer rating, and he got a touchdown.
There's also another guy
off the ball linebackers are making 18 to 20 mil a year. So
yeah, I mean,
it's a lot of money.
I mean, have you heard of a guy called Aziz Al-Shahir?
Yeah, Al-Shahir, yeah, good player, very good player.
Another very good player, and you can get him dirt cheap. He was at the Titans last year for like $5 million. I mean, only on a 1-year deal. He's a free agent this year. He is a quality linebacker as well. I mean, he's not as big a name as a Queen, for example, but very, very a very nice signing. I think if you get it, and you get him for say the $6-7 million per year, probably on average. So again, another option if Queen doesn't come through.
And this is the sort of where I think we'll end up on free agency. It won't be massive headline signings. We all want one, absolutely. I mean, Christ, even if you did 2, fantastic. But in all seriousness, we're going to be getting these players who have played at a steady rate, could potentially be Pro Bowlers, but they're going to be 7, 8, 9 million a year. That's the sort of average that we're kind of looking at there or therebots.
I just want us to do one big one, like I say, a Queen at 8 million or something, just to really give this excitement. Like, boom,
Viscount's done it there, saying, wonder how many deals are already done at the combine. I think that is where pretty much everything gets done.
That's why everyone goes
draft talk. That's where, who are you fancying taking? You want to trade back with me? I'll do this, I'll do that. Loads of deals will be done already. Agents will be hanging around, sniffing around. There'll be, Radio Row is the same. Like, I know that's the Super Bowl Radio Row, but they do have the same sort of media gatherings within the combine. They'll all be talking to each other. There'll be dinners everywhere. Indianapolis, an absolute hub. I mean, look at what Peters was mic'd up, wasn't he, at the combine? So I'll have to rewatch that video in a bit. But even at the Senior Bowl, you saw the amount of people who are interacting with Peters and talking. There will be a shit ton of deals done already behind the scenes that we know are going to happen. So
this legal tampering thing really starts 3 weeks ago.
Well, this is the weird thing. I listened to Schefter on Pat McAfee, and hopefully this goes in the algorithm so the podcast can go up. But yeah, Pat McAfee, and then we'll do Taylor Swift. Just to get our numbers up. But no, in all seriousness, I listened to him talk, and he was saying that the 11th, the tampering period on Monday, is basically where the deals are announced and done. And if you're sitting there Thursday afternoon, free agency is pretty much done by that point.
Yeah,
the first wave's done. But it's I don't know. We're just speculating. But funnily, this next week coming, it's going to be like a kid at Christmas, especially with the amount of cap space that we've got going on, the things that we can do to make this there. But I honestly think we've got to get probably 12 free agents. Do you know what I mean? That are decent standard
it's going to be some of these guys, like you mentioned, that Al-Shahir, you're probably going to get on the cheap.
Yeah,
and he's a good player. So it's going to be like guys like that who've got probably an affinity with Adam Peters, like Shahir has as well, because he was at the Niners until he went to the Titans.
I think the Swifts, the Pollards, these sort of running backs, discount them out there. They ain't coming in.
I can't see us going running back in free agency. I can't see that. I can see us going in the draft, maybe later on in the draft to get an RB. But again, yeah.
Was it Corum you went for in your mock draft?
Blake Corum. I like him. He was available at 101 for me in my draft. So I wouldn't say no to that. I mean, he's different. I like him. I like Corum. He's not lightning, but he can definitely lay the wood a little bit.
You know, Jesse's not wrong here. Jesse's put in here saying the safety market is robust. Many will sign 1-year deals. Absolutely agree with you.
That's a good shout.
It is a good shout because there's so many safeties that have become cap casualty. It's funny, isn't it, how some positions are completely overhyped and well paid and well thought of, but then you've got other positions that seem to just have dropped off the face of the earth in money-wise.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like safety. I mean, this is a passing league as well. So you would think the DBs wouldn't be kind of shortchanged. Like I can understand. I mean, I can understand the RBs
well paid, isn't it?
RBs don't get paid. Safety
they don't get paid at all. Safeties don't really get paid that much.
They're probably the main three. Don't really get paid massive anymore.
Yeah, but then it's funny, isn't it? Because we go back 5 years ago, and running backs were signing amazing, massive 2, 3, 4-year deals, and then you also had people like defensive ends weren't getting paid very much. How that has changed is ridiculous. And now it's things like safeties don't get paid a lot.
That's the thing. It's all about the pass rush, I mean, look at Fat Albert. Look at Fat Albert when we signed him in whatever year it was, 08, whatever it was. Yeah. Fat Albert there. What was he? He was a run stuffer. That's what he was. You could kind of rush the pass there a little bit.
Funny, isn't it? I mean, what would you say? What would you say now then, Scouse, is the sexy positions that are going to get paid? I mean, quarterback, obviously, left tackle.
That'll always be, yeah. And left tackles always get paid. They're always the second highest. They're always the second highest paid. If you look at overall averages of a contract of, like, say, a quarterback's 5-year deal, and a left tackle's 5-year deal, obviously quarterback's way higher most of the time. And then left tackle's next up.
Yeah, of course.
Always is. It's a premium position. And then after that, you're looking at kind of a receiver then probably nowadays.
Receiver and corner. That's probably it, isn't it? Corners are not as well paid, obviously, as receivers. Look
at receivers, some guys are on 20 mil.
20 odd mil, yeah. 20 odd mil. It's just mental, isn't it? Now, what was Mike Evans? What did Mike Evans sign this week? I don't remember his deal.
I can't remember the numbers of that one.
It was a big one, though, wasn't it? It was a big deal. And yeah, fair play to him.
And he's proven it, though. He deserves some money. He's proven it for 8 years, whatever it is now, 1,000 yards every year.
Every year, yeah, without shadow of a doubt.
Touchdowns and all the rest of it in big games. He's worth his money, personally.
Yeah, I think so too. So it's Mike Evans' contract is a base value of 41 million over 2 years.
Yeah, there you go, 20 mil. See what I mean? That's that magical number for the top wide receivers. It's around that 20 million mark now. Adams is probably still on that as well. Something similar.
He will be, yeah. Justin Jefferson, well, he's going to get paid soon. He's going to have to get paid soon. I mean,
I think he did get paid. He did get paid.
I think he did. I think he did get paid quite high. Diggs, not sure what his deal's like.
He's a prima donna, isn't he? I mean,
what wide receiver isn't? What wide receiver isn't? Let's be honest.
Terry isn't.
You're wide. Yeah, Terry isn't. But on the field, he just tries to do his action by what he does on the field, and I get that. You know what I mean? You're out there. I am alpha dog one, and that is pretty much how every wide receiver should play. But we'll see.
He's expected to earn 30 million.
Yeah,
yet, but yeah. Tyreek Hill as well is on that 30 million.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Yeah, there you go. There he is, cheater himself. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I don't know where we go from here, but yeah, that's it. I think we're just looking forward to free agency as it comes. I'm pretty certain I will be keeping an eye out for everything that's coming in. We'll update you obviously next week. Just want to shout out everyone who put the questions in and everyone who's in the chat before we hop off. So Commander Viscount, go and follow him. John Bowden Grace on Twitter. Scott G, 20G Dog on Twitter. Christian, he's at Christian Burt, UK HTTC blogs. David, Glasgow Skins, and Rob Morrison again, Rod Moore, 39721910, and then Hog on the Mountain as well, who's Hog on the Mount. Thank you, all of you, for putting your questions in. Really, really brilliant numbers last week through X, and brilliant numbers again through YouTube. Obviously, we're trying to make it a little bit more professional, trying to get the thumbnails going, trying to get the pod up to a standard that we think it should be. It takes a bit of time, takes a bit of work, but honestly, we appreciate you all for being here. Since we started doing the live shows, we really enjoyed it. We enjoy the chat that we get in here.
Yeah, man. It's better to have that interaction, I think, not just me and you just talking all the time.
Of course it is. Yeah. It's
nice to have different questions coming halfway through, I think.
Can be quite boring, that, can't it? Do you know what I mean? So,
Actually, listen to your velvet tones definitely bores me. You know what I mean?
I can send a glass eye to sleep, mate.
Nope.
You know that, but there you go. I mean, last question then we've got. Last question we've got here from Deluxe here. He says, do your thoughts on draft strategy change after the recent roster cuts? Those positions were in need of an upgrade anyway.
Yes, I don't think it changes. It doesn't say these ones so far, like Ertz, and it doesn't move the needle. So it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same kind of draft strategy. As you say, we've got a lot of holes to fill. We can't afford all superstars, but I think if we get one really nice big sign and then fill it out with the solid players, maybe guys under the radar might not have heard of, or maybe just here and there, whatever. Like Peters knows all these guys more than we do. I'm hoping that we can be okay. But yeah, man, I don't think it changes the strategy at all at this moment.
No, I agree with you. I don't think the strategy changes. I think you were right, Deluxe, that they did need upgrading the positions that have gone. I mean, let's be honest, when you cut in Nick Gates and you're only saving $300,000, they just didn't want him around.
He's just awful. Yeah, exactly. It just proves that awful.
Logan Thomas, I'm not going to say because we don't know what he's like in the locker room, but he talks a lot. You know what I mean? He was kind of one of the guys towards the end of Ron's tenure, and I agree with you in some ways where shit starts coming out of the locker room, and that's kind of not where you want to be. Plus, his production wasn't the best after injuries.
Logan's had one really good year. That's it.
Yeah,
no, being honest,
let's
be brutally honest with him. One really good year, a couple of good catches here and there throughout seasons, but that's not enough from your tight end one. You know what I mean? That's like your tight end 3. That's what you expect. You know what I mean? So.
And then Deluxe's final question to us. He is at ArchDeluxe on Twitter, so or X, whatever you want to call it. So go and follow him. He said, besides QB, what's the biggest positional need? One for offense and one for defense.
It's pretty easy one, really. I mean, you're looking at left tackle for offense, and you're looking at linebacker for defense. And
Are you saying linebacker?
Yeah, linebacker. Yeah. What do you think?
See, I would change it. I'd say left tackle and edge.
Edge rusher. I mean, yeah, okay. We do need one of them, but again, you can use Jamin as that as well. So as long as you've got another good linebacker next to him, we can cover that.
I don't disagree with you, mate. That linebacker needs looking at, isn't it? Isn't it crazy how
we haven't got a genuine free safety as well? That's another thing.
True.
I don't care what everyone says about Defoe and all that. Defoe's okay, he's decent, but he's not a true free safety. He's a strong safety playing free, and he's a little bit of that. That's why he can get burned at times, especially when Cam wasn't playing, because he wasn't telling him where to be. He wasn't on point every single time at free. And I think just us getting a pure free safety, because we've not had one for a long time, would be really, really nice to see. Even if it isn't, Justin Simmons would be awesome, but even another guy, guys who are a bit cheaper, as long as he's truly genuine free safety who's productive, I'm happy with that as well. So
am I.
There's one question on the chat there, mate, as well about
okay.
Deluxe and Viscount there at the bottom.
Yeah, it says Deluxe has said obviously there. I don't think Queen will live up to his next contract, and Deluxe has said free agent deals, offensive lineman 4, 2 linebackers, a safety, wide receiver, defensive end ×2, and cornerback ×2. My word, Viscount. We ain't got 170 million sitting about in the old cash pot. No, I do agree with you. I think we have to obviously upgrade.
We might need an free agency.
Don't get me wrong here. I mean, maybe we can star this and come back to this. I'm going to write this down. I mean, I wonder how far off he is there, John. I wonder how far you are going to be off on your prediction there as to what we need through free agency. All through free agency, going to be tough, I think. But yeah, don't be surprised if we do that. I mean, I honestly think this 90-man roster build-up, we're probably going to be looking at.
It's going to be unrestricted free agents, man. It's going to be unrestricted.
Yeah, unrestricted. Of course it is. That's exactly where I was going. You're going to see probably 10 unrestricted free agents plus
on the guys on like $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's what you're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing a lot of those dudes, off couches, all that type of thing to fill in the 90. But yeah, man.
We also have to remember, Scouts, here that I've said it many, many times before. You cannot change everything within the one season,
and that's easy. It's about filling holes, hopefully with adequate enough or good enough, like just enough at times, as well as getting some guys who might shock you who becomes like top level. That's why rookies are rookies, and they're the guys that you think you want the high upside guys who could turn into elite. Hopefully with the right coaching, the right system, and all the rest of it, these guys could turn into elite dudes. But besides that, these guys that you're going to find in free agency are going to be kind of proven to a certain extent of what they can do. You know what they're going to be able to do, the pros and cons, skills, weaknesses, strengths and weaknesses, and that's how it's going to be. So obviously, we have to give the guys a long leash, and just hope that whoever they sign and pick up and all the rest of it, turns out to be the right decision.
Yeah, we'll play it out with Rod then. He said, great show, guys. As we said before, it will take 3 off seasons to fix this. Yeah, I do not disagree with you at all.
Especially when Peter says as well, build through the draft, and that's exactly what he wants to do, and supplement through free agency, which is all, like I say, those little extra little guys here and there, guys of good value. But again, no great shakes, guys. I just hope that we do. I just really want for the fans to get really on board. Just one big sign, one position of need.
I tell you what, mate, this time next week, we'll probably have that answer. So thanks again for everyone who's been in the chat. We really appreciate you being on here. Really appreciate your comments. Really appreciate you being with us. And thanks, Scouts, again for being with me, mate. I really appreciate these on a Thursday. Subscribe to the pod. It's at 1.safety4. At ScottyH84 is my Twitter handle. Please give Scouts a follow. He is, you put it as at 1 Point Safety Show. It's at Scouts Andy 20 is your
that's something that's happened to me, mate, since you messed up my email.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we logged into. We'll tell this story. I logged into your emails yesterday because we have a shared email account for the podcast. Had to reset passwords, 2-factor authentication, Gmail texts going to Scouts' mobile.
Now it's messed up everything.
An utter disaster.
Now I can't even click on the messages for people to come up to show up on the screen now at the moment. So
I know.
We'll try and fix that.
But yeah, that about does us, mate. Unless you've got anything else to talk about.
No, that's it, man. Just thanks to everyone tuning in, and I'll hopefully see you next week.
Appreciate you. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.